Hey everyone, welcome back to my Plant a Week series. This week we are talking about a cultivar of philodendron called the Déjà Vu. You can find these pretty much everywhere. It's a really interesting plant with really nice foliage. It's one of my favorite philodendrons right now. This plant was actually a rescue. I rescued it from my sister. She had it in her room and she nearly killed it by just not watering it. I mean, she doesn't really water any of her plants, if I'm being honest. So this was just the first rescue of what will probably be many. So let's dive in and take a look at this Philodendron Déja Vu. This cultivar philodendron is commonly known as Déjà Vu. For those who don't know what a cultivar is, it's a variety of plant that has been produced through selective breeding rather than something found in the wild. As such, the Déjà Vu is a hardy little philodendron that's more difficult to kill than most plants, unless you are my sister. The Déjà Vu, like most philodendrons, tend to favor a well-draining soil. I keep mine in a mixture of potting soil and orchid bark. They like to dry out between waterings but be watered thoroughly once their soil is dry. I water mine about once a week, but I have noticed that it needs more frequent watering as we move into the growing season. This plant favors medium indirect light. It is shade tolerant, but for optimal growth, you want to set this plant in an area that gets more light than not. However, be sure to watch your Déjà Vu, as it is possible to burn its leaves if it gets too much sun. As for fertilizing, I fertilize mine twice a month during the spring and summer, and I just use an organic phytoplankton-infused fertilizer on mine, and so far it seems to like it. As for propagation, there are two main methods to propagate the Déjà Vu. The first is simply to divide the plant. Dig it up, separate the individual plants, and now you've doubled your crop of Déjà Vu. You can also take stem cuttings and root them in water. However, I have not tried this method, and I'm not too sure how well it'll work considering there aren't really any nodes on these stalks. Maybe once it fills out a bit, I'll give it a try. All parts of this plant are poisonous. It's better to keep it out of reach of pets and children. As well, handling this plant may cause some skin irritation as it'll release a defensive sap if overly handled. But as far as pests go, I haven't experienced any problems with this philodendron, although my sister, when she had it, she did experience some issues with fungus gnats, which is ironic considering how dry it was when I rescued it from her. Philodendrons are a dime a dozen these days. There are so many different cultivars and species in the market, and for good reason. They're very easy plants to take care of and are great for that indoor tropical vibe. Thanks again for watching. If you're new to my channel, I post plant videos on Monday, and on Friday I post videos about writing or reading or photography or whatever interests that I have. As always, you can find my social media links in the description below. As well, you can find the link to my fantasy series, A Chronicle of Crowns, which is currently out on Amazon. Thanks again. Bye!